Hi there, welcome back to Creatively Crafted Life and another installment in Stash Revival. This is a collaboration with Colleen I will have her link below. And basically we are taking items from our stash that have never been used or rarely used and are focusing on trying to use them each month. This month our theme is Easter, whimsical, texture, that kind of thing. And I don't really do a whole lot of Easter cards. So what I thought I would focus on instead is cute critters or critters. And I pulled out a couple embossing folders for texture and a stencil maybe for some texture and a few dies that I've never used before. And that is my starting off point. So let's see where I ended up. Okay, so in completing these cards, I actually used some additional dies, which is good. I didn't use everything that I had pulled out, but that's okay. We pulled out some other stuff, so we're going to take it as a win. I used the sentiments from the Spellbinders Holiday Sentiments, so I never used those before, so that was good. I used from Concord and I Fabulous Phrases, I think, the Thinking of You from here. From Concord and Ninth, I think. Yeah, Concord and Ninth, I used this high. And this one, I think I may have used this Happy Birthday before, but it's been a while. That one is from Simon Says Stamp. I don't have a note in here that says that I've used it, so I'm going to count that as a win. And then I have this Painted Hugs. It is from Simon Says Stamp. I used that one. Never used that before. And I used, I think, the Hello from here. But I'm pretty, yeah, I don't think I used the Hello before, but I might have. Again, we're going into dangerous territory here. I also used this Hello. This one I for sure have used. And I also used these arches from Spellbinders, and the only time I'd used these previously was for a class. So cool. Okay, let me show you how the cards turned out. I have to laugh at myself because it gives less and less space to work with. Okay, so the first set that we're going to play with are these three dies here. I think this was a set, and then this little mouse with the dandelion was a set. I don't remember who they came from. I don't have it written down. These are not my favorite type of dies when they're just a single layer. I do struggle a little bit with how to piece them together. I know I can cut them out of white and color them. I wasn't interested in coloring this go round, so I did not do that. Now, okay, so this is how I ultimately decided for the female mouse how to put her together. So that's this one right here. I was playing around with it. She looks a little scary, huh? Yeah, I'm not quite sure what to do with the different lines and stuff like that. I could also dig out my colored pencils and, you know, add some shading and stuff, but I've decided I'm not going to do that. Okay, then next up I've got this one. Now, this one here, I think it's supposed to have a bow on it, but any which way I cut this, it just ended up looking really weird. So I trimmed the bow off, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a little bow maybe with some actual ribbon. But he turned out pretty cute. This is the one with the dandelion, and I opted to go glitter. This would look even better, I think, with like a white glitter instead of a silver, but that's what I had most readily available, so that's what I went with. And I think this one turned out okay. So I'm going to actually pull from my card kits that I showed in the last Smash or Stash. I think it was the last one, the one from February, and make a few cards, and this is how they turned out. Here's that Hugs die. I layered it multiple times to give it a little bit of dimension. I pulled out some rhinestone flowers for embellishments. This original banner and the original design I had coming off of here, but I thought it actually worked great as a landing spot or a grounding spot for the little mouse. And this one I changed up a little bit. the original design, of course, was intended more this way, although it doesn't really matter. And this particular stripe, I can't remember. I think you're supposed to cut it in half and have it go this way or use it as banners. And again, I used it as a landing spot for the mouse. I pulled out a felt bow from my stash, and I think that turned out really cute. And then just some rhinestones also from my stash. The original design for this was to layer this piece fully on top of this one, but I thought this looked more like a sky, loose interpretation of, and I wanted this mouse with the dandelion fluff to look like he was flying or floating in the air, and so I just shifted it over. So again, that's why I haven't put those card kits together, because it gives me the flexibility to switch things up. Added a die cut hello, and we're calling that one done. Okay, next up is this Layer It Cardinal from Tailored Expressions. There's another stamp set, or there's another die set in here that I haven't used, but which is from Spellbinders, but I'm not playing with that one today. This is the Cardinal, and in my pocket card decluttering, I had put a bunch of pocket cards in with my card making supplies, and I thought this one would be kind of fun to layer it somehow to mimic snow, because cardinals, I always think of Christmas. So that is my jumping off point for this one. This was a pocket card. It is foiled. I trimmed it down enough to allow for 2 mats behind in black and red to play off the cardinal. I added a banner in black and then a layering piece of gold on top, and then the Merry Christmas, which I probably used about 3 Merry Christmases to make it a little bit raised, and then the cardinal. I think this card is pretty basic and very simple, although you may argue with all the foiling that it's not, but I just couldn't think of anything else that would make sense to put on it that wouldn't make it too busy. So this is how it turned out, and I'm happy with it. I think this was called Reindeer Games from Echo Park, and I have this layering koi, what is it called? Paper layering koi fish with frame from Hero Art, and I pulled a couple specialty cardstock panels I had that I thought would work. So for the deer, I thought we could use this foiled paper. Again, I'm thinking Christmas. This kind of has like a woodland feel to it, which is why I thought it would work well with the deer. And then this is, I don't even know, it was from American Crafts. It's super, super thin. It came on like a roll, like it was a roll of paper. I'm not sure. Anyways, I cut it down to 4x6 panels, and I cut the koi fish out of some holographic cardstock. I want to see if I can add some color to him with some alcohol markers, and I thought this paper kind of looked like water, and so maybe we can do some sort of koi fish, koi pond look. So that is that one. I did add some alcohol marker on here just to give it a little bit more color, but to be honest, I don't know that it has that big of effect because the paper already had so much iridescence in it, but it was a good try. Like, you can really see it here in the green. I think it just emphasized some of the colors in the paper a little bit better. I kept it super simple. I punched out some circles from the same paper to represent bubbles, and then I used these gems on top of that. Okay, I ended up using the arch die to cut the background for this, and I pulled out a punch from Creative Memories and added these half pearls. This was another die cut that from one of the stamp sets, and I really like how this one turned out. I think it's cute. So you may be thinking that I've kind of gone off theme with some of the other images that I produced. Remember, the theme was Easter whimsical, and I'm heading in the direction of cute critters under, you know, the the non-religious Easter theme. Next up are these butterflies, which I think are very whimsical. This is from Elizabeth Craft Designs, and I trimmed a few of these out using some specialty textured cardstock. This was from Tonic Studio, and I went with the pastel colors, again keeping in line with that spring / Easter kind of look. Oh, they're all tangled. I have no idea what I'm going to do with these. I think I might go through my card panel or my card kits and see if there's something there that will work. Otherwise, maybe we'll use more of this cardstock or paper. Seems to coordinate very well. Okay, so no idea with these ones. I cut out the happy birthday and added the butterflies. Now this color is really, really close to this, which is why I picked this particular card kit. If I had fully planned this out before putting it together, I probably wouldn't have put the banner exactly there, but I did. So, and I think it's okay. And then the extra butterfly I added to the inside. One of the card kits layered as intended. I used the high, which I cut out of some scrap foiled paper, added the 3 butterflies, and I think that's cute. Did not use the any sort of matting on here. I just figured with the sentiment and doing it in black and layering it up and then adding the butterfly so that it really didn't need it. I wasn't able to use a 3rd butterfly on here. It just felt a little overwhelming to have it on this corner, which was really the only place I could think of to put it. So I did use a punch. This was from Stampin' Up! And the same cardstock as the butterflies. And then I used the 3rd butterfly on the interior of the card. And the last set that I played with are these switchlets from Sizzix. I don't know what they're called. Detailed butterflies. I love these actually. They die cut and emboss at the same time. And I took some glossy paper from scrapbook.com and also focused on the pastel colors and cut out like 6 of them. So there's 3 different edge patterns, and then of course the centers are the same because the embossing part is the same across all of them. Again, I don't know what I'm going to do with these. Your guess is as good as mine at this point. But here we go. This is a monochromatic card. This is a pocket card. This was a pocket card. And I trimmed those down enough to allow for mats, which I pulled from my cardstock panels in coordinating colors. I used the painted hello in gold because I had added this gold glitter ribbon trim, whatever you want to call it. This was from American Crafts. And then the 1 butterfly in that glossy paper. Yeah, and I like the monochromatic look. It just kind of worked out. And then of course, always remember if you've got little scraps left over, add them to the interior of your card. Okay, these were both pocket cards. This piece here and this piece. And I did trim this with rounded corners, even though this is square. Usually I will do be consistent across all of them, but I just thought the rounded corners played off the little bumps. I don't know what you want to call them, gumdrops on the background paper. I used the pink with this one, and then 2 of those same little punched out butterflies out of the glossy cardstock to supplement this one. And I used some black rhinestones to decorate, and then of course a little bit of scrap on the interior. This is another pretty basic card in my opinion. A pocket card for the background, which I absolutely love. I love the colors. And while the butterfly is not an exact match for the orange, I think because this kind of has a gradient range, it still works. I found these navy half pearls that I thought would be great to embellish, playing off the circles in the wings. And then the layering piece behind this is a piece of foiled navy cardstock. I think it was from probably a Park Lane or a die cut with a view paper pad, I think. And then I just die cut the hello out of navy and kept it pretty simple. The offcut from this is this, and you're probably wondering how that's possible. So the back side of this card had thicker stripes on it, and so that's the reverse side of the pocket card. Another pocket card. This one already had rounded corners. It was a Becky Higgins pocket card, and I played off the yellowy green in here. I actually had in my panels, my pre-cut scrap strips, a piece of this yellowy green, and it was actually wider than this strip. So what I did was the offcut from it, I just layered on top to give this little dimensional look, and then added the butterfly in the center, and then die cut out the word hello. And then I found some green yellowy green rhinestones to add to finish this one off. This is a pocket card trimmed to size. I cut out, well actually I already had this pre-cut out, this arch in white, and then I layered this glitter trim, again from American Crafts on the bottom, and then the butterfly on top. And I did not embellish this any further. You know, could I add like rhinestones or enamel dots or something? Yeah, probably. But I think the background's pretty busy. The chunky glitter trim is busy. I think it's okay to just be a little bit more simple. So this was a full 4x6 pocket card. I added it to a 5x7 card base. This creamy color butterfly I thought played off some of the colors in the flower, and then I used whatever scraps were left over. I punched out that same butterfly from Stampin' Up! Punch, and then I found some little yellow half pearls to embellish it. Okay, you guys, that is going to be it for this month's Stash Revival. 15 cards. Was I as successful as I'd hoped? I don't know. Like, you know, you start off with big dreams and you see where you end up. So I had pulled all of these extra packages that I did not get around to. So, you know, maybe there'll be another cute critter video in the future. And I pulled out these and did use them. So, you know, these were the original pulls, additional pulls. So I think the stack is still about the same, right? So I'm going to consider that a win. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, this was more of an Easter, or was intended to be more of an Easter themed month, but I took it in the direction of more, you know, bunnies and cute critters. And I'm really happy with my results. I think I've got a wide variety of cards, and I used a good stack of stuff that had never been used before. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you guys are enjoying this video, and I encourage you to pull out an item in your stash that you have not used or have used very rarely and try and incorporate it into your crafting in the next month. Be sure to check out Colleen's video. The link is in the description below. And until next time, happy crafting.